Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dutch Guy's Garage. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not doing a tech video, we're doing more of an informational video. We're going to be covering the car behind us, a 1978 Plymouth Volare street kit cars / Richard Petty edition. Like most Aspens and Volares, there's a lot of bad information or just misconceptions about the cars. I kind of wanted to do a little, know-how on, the correct information for these. So, yeah, let's talk about the A43 package. Is what you'll see on the fender tag and stuff like that.
So A, we need that Richard Petty car.
To start out, we're going to need to rewind the clock and go back to 1978, middle of the smog era. The muscle car era is gone. It's dead, unfortunately, and manufacturers are having to, dumb down on their cars horsepower-wise in order to be able to sell things. Now, they were still trying to put cars out with the visualization of speed. So they were making cars loud appearance-wise, whether it's paint, stripes, stuff like that. Everyone was doing it. So, in my opinion, the street kit car absolutely is the pinnacle of that.
You ain't first, you're last. Don't talk.
It's so crazy for what they did that it is just tops everything else that was out there. So, yeah. Let's talk about what actually makes the package. Now, these cars were actually built by Cars and Concepts, the same people that built the Daytona Chargers and everything like that of the past. So they sent, Volares over there and they modified them extensively. They put these huge, obnoxious fender flares on there, which are awesome in my opinion, but not everybody loves them. Because they stick out of the body like 3 inches. Super cool. And to actually put these on, you cannot just take these fender flares and put them on a standard Volare fender. They cut and modified the whole entire fender and quarter to be able to accept these. They were wanting to have a car that could corner. They built these cars as in NASCAR styling in mind.
You run any of this by NASCAR?
Gotta be able to turn left. So, yeah, they put these big old fender flares on there. They widened everything out, and then they put 15x8 wheels on all 4 corners with big old G60 tires. And they did a front and rear sway bar, a little bit more of a performance suspension in mind. And then they moved on to, they put the E58, which was the highest horsepower 360 you could get of the day. It's a little bit of a dumbed down version of what they put in the Little Expresses. Same block, everything like that, just something that was more, they could pass smog within a car. So 175 horsepower, nothing to blow your hair back, but they gave you the guts to be able to, bring in some of the old hot rodding techniques of back in the day. Like what the 40s guys had to do, they started with something and they just had to, step it up, headers, cam, head work, port work, all that stuff, which we seen in Carcraft magazine back in, I think it was 78 or 79. They took a 78 Super Coupe, which has the same, suspension, engine, all that stuff. They made it run mid-13s, which is a pretty respectable number for, a car of the smog era. And they used all bolt-ons and a cam swap. And they did change the rear gears. So that gives you an idea, just, little modifications you could do to bring those numbers down. Have a pretty fun Friday night and Saturday night cruiser. So, but moving on, they did the fender flares. They did these windshield tabs all around the windshield. They have blowout bars in the back glass, side louvers, and then they had a front and rear spoiler. The rear spoiler is actually adjustable, keeping the NASCAR styling in effect. You want to be able to turn, and these are only specific to the Richard Petty street kit cars. So And then another option they had was these big old 43s. These, they had they gave you 3 43s, 2 for the doors, 1 for the roof. And then they gave you 360 cubic inch call outs for the hood. All these came in the trunk. It was up to the dealer or the owner to install them if they wanted. That's why you will sometimes see some street kit cars without the 43s or the hood decals. I think a lot of them got the hood decals over the 43s, because the 43s, you know, if you're buying this as like a new car, they're kind of gaudy, in my opinion. But you know, like this car, it never got the 43s, but it got the hood decals. So the 43s, my buddy reproduces them, so I bought them from him. And if you're gonna have a Richard Petty, you gotta have some 43s on there.
I want to go fast.
So, but yeah, so we got the suspension, we got spoilers, we got louvers, we got big old 43s on the doors, you know, and we got the E58 motor that came standard. There was no deviation from the E58. You didn't, you know, everything was, if you ordered this package, you were stuck with it. There was no other color options. If you got a Plymouth, it was two-tone blue. If you got a Dodge, it was two-tone red. There was no any other colors. You couldn't get a standard transmission. It was just a E58 364 barrel with a 727. There was no 904s. There was no 4-speeds. There's never been any documentation besides that, because that's the only thing Chrysler would offer with these cars, because when they set these cars as cars and concepts, that was just the cars they sent there. Cars and concepts to the rest of the modifications. So until I see proven documentation otherwise, that is what's been proven today with the 50 or so Richard Petty's that have actually surfaced and been brought to, you know, circulation, you know, to give you a rarity aspect of, you know, just how rare these cars are. You know, that's how many have been known that are still existing. They had rust problems from the start, so
Rusty.
they made 247, 50 or so are left. That's pretty rare numerically. So, yeah. Chrysler labeled it as an acceptable performance for the day. And if they were beating all the other manufacturers, I would go along with agreeing with that. Yeah. They were originally planning on making 1,000 of these in a Dodge and a Plymouth. And when they started manufacturing, they made that original grouping. And then Petty dropped Chrysler in July, and the whole project was axed. So they determined that they weren't going to make any more cars, you know, to pay homage to him, because he was not racing their product anymore. So that's why they're so rare numerically, because, you know, you can say it's Petty's fault, you cannot, but, you know, take from what you can. So, but these are the only cars that, you know, in street trim to actually pay respect to Petty, which makes them cool in my opinion. You know, there was nothing else like it. And now if you can take yourself back into those times, you know, there were still Roadrunners and GTXs and stuff like that driving around. But imagine buying this new in '78, driving it off the lot, you know, with the decals installed. It looked like you were driving a, you know, a dirt track car around on the you know, road. How cool would that be? So, but yeah, that's today's little history lesson on the A43 Plymouth Volare Street Kit car / Richard Petty edition. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just get a little more info about these cars. They're a fun car. They're a cool car. You can take them to Cars and Coffee, car shows, and you're pretty much guaranteed to not see another one there, which is what I find a lot of fun about, you know, the hobby in general. You know, there's a lot of times when you can go to Mopar Nationals and stuff like that, and you bring your E-Body Cuda or something like that, and it'll be the same car there. If you bring this, pretty much guarantee you're the only one there, and if you are, you know, the other guy, he might have the same car as you, but it's going to be a little bit different. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that little history lesson, and I appreciate you watching the channel, and I'm gonna try and get some more content out for you this week. We clear out the garage a little bit, got some things cleaned up. We're gonna be finishing our E58 build for this car. So we did find out that actually the motor had been rebuilt. We knew nothing about it, so tore it apart. There's fresh score marks in the cylinders. Does not have stock heads, and it's studded, and there's quite a bit done to the darn thing. So
score!
Pretty good, you know, engine to open up. Zero sludge. So, yeah. Follow along if you can, and if you guys haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button, and, you know, follow us along, and if you want to. And we like to build weird stuff. We like to build odd stuff, you know, something different from the current trends, because that's just what we like to do. So, we are planning on finishing up our big block Volare station wagon build in another upcoming video. I have a couple of those in editing right now. We've just been so busy over here with spring coming. So, but appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you on the next one. And remember, they don't move until you do, and that's the absolute truth.